you are. Lord, you are. You're my everything. See, I call you Jireh. Lord, my provider. I call you Nisi. You are my banner. I call you Rapha. Hey. You are my healer. Say, Lord, you are. Lord, you're my everything. I call you Jireh. Lord, my provider. I call you Nisi. You are my banner. I call you Rapha. You are my healer. Say, Lord, you are. Lord, you are. You're my everything. Oh, you're my thing and now. 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 Yeah. So, oh, yeah. Oh, you're my thing and now. Oh, you're my thing and now. Yeah. Oh, you're my thing and now. Oh, you're my thing and now. Say, I call you Jireh. Say, I call you Jireh. Lord, my provider. I call you Nisi. You are my banner. I call you Rapha.
And it is so lovely and welcoming to see you waiting for us to come your way with the community and the Lord. This is BWTV, BWF Solicitors, and we want to say thank you so very much. Happy Saturday to you again, the second one in the month of January 2024. My name is Oreku Owusu Frimpong. Now, by popular request, this afternoon we're bringing you a topic we have treated before, but we're looking at it from a different angle. Now, those of you who would want to employ people from outside of the UK to come into the UK to work, especially in the care industry and other specialist skill units here in the UK, we are going to let you know how to avoid delays in obtaining your certificate of sponsorship and defined certificate of sponsorship. And you know, we're doing that together with BWF Solicitors, and we're sure we get to the right information. So let's get into it together. It's the community and the law.
Welcome to BWF Solicitors, a trusted and experienced family law firm specializing in immigration and naturalization, as well as dispute resolution. Meet Bernard Owusu, our esteemed senior partner with over 30 years of experience and known for his expertise and dedication to serving our clients and the community. BWF Solicitors stand for integrity, respect, excellence, teamwork, diversity and inclusion, and service to the community. We provide tailored assistance across all areas of UK and Ghana law. At BWF Solicitors, every day is filled with dedication, creativity, and a commitment to finding the best solutions for our clients. Led by experienced senior partner Bernard Owusu, the team at BWF Solicitors is ready to assist you with your immigration, naturalization, dispute resolution, family law, new wills and probate, Ghana law and practice needs. We are dedicated to providing solutions to our clients' problems. You can find us at the 4th floor, Anna House, 214 to 218 High Road, Seven Sisters, London, N15 4NP. Main office line 0208 493 7340 or our emergency line 07712 761 884. Our private client services team is recognized for providing clear and practical legal advice to our clients in the United Kingdom and Ghana. Expert help with will writing, probate or estate administration. Our will writers and probate lawyers can act for you to obtain grant of probate and carry out estate administration on your behalf. The probate takes place after someone dies. If there's a will, the named executor is responsible for ensuring that the estate of the deceased is secured, assessing its value and paying any inheritance tax. If there is no will, the interstate and inheritance rules require similar responsibilities. Our lawyers offer strategic and practical solutions to the issues which clients face, whether it's in relation to succession planning, will preparation, probate and the administration of estates, immigration and visas, contentious family or probate disputes, administering estates often with inheritance cross-border issues, international trust advice including residence, domicile issues, wealth preservation, a fast, efficient service from SRA-regulated professionals, transparent pricing. BWF Solicitors, let us take care of probate.
Welcome to the community and the Lord, the second Saturday of the month of January 2024. We come your way every Saturday afternoon by courtesy of BWF Solicitors to educate you on how to stay on the right hand side of the law every time you are in the UK. When it comes to your immigration matters, when it comes to other legal issues about your property, your employment, and family issues, definitely you would have to have somebody or an organization that will plead for you or speak on your behalf. That is why I always encourage you to get to BWF Solicitors, located on the fourth floor of the Anna House, 214 to 218 Tottenham High Road, Seven Sisters. They work Monday to Friday between 9:30 in the morning and 6 p.m. in the evening. Call them on 0208 493 7340, 0208 493 7340, or the emergency number 077 127 61884, 077 127 61884. BWF Solicitors are our trusted partners when it comes to the law. Now, this afternoon, we have gone to them again, and by courtesy of what you put out to us and ask us the questions and all that, we're going to ask the senior partner himself to take us through some of the things that we need to do when it comes to obtaining certificate of sponsorship and defined certificate of sponsorship to be able to bring people from outside of the UK to work. Now, what is a certificate of sponsorship? What is a defined certificate of sponsorship? And we will be looking at some of the things that you need to go through before you would be giving a certificate of sponsorship. And how to also prepare for the visit by the Home Office to make sure that you're doing the right thing. Many people seem to have had a lot of difficulty with this area. So we come your way to do that. And as I said, I am privileged to have the senior partner of BWF Solicitors, our proud sponsors and our benefactors, to help us go through this. So first of all, let me welcome Mr. Bernard Owusu. We call him Uncle Ben. He is the senior partner of BWF Solicitors and he's right here with us pretty soon. Yes, that I was going to talk about that smile that you're going to see, and I have already got it. Uncle Ben, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Kweku. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
First time we're meeting this year.
I know. Absolutely. Good fortune for us that we've made it into the new year. We are grateful to God for how far He's brought us and kept us.
Last week, I know you were on the fringes and you could feel and imagine the excitement of people that participated in the quiz and the winners and people being very eager to do that. Since you've gotten here the first time this year, I would want to say on behalf of all of them that we are grateful and thank you for being there for us, BWF Solicitors, all throughout.
Thank you, Kweku. I think for us, we've always said that we are a community-based law firm. Nothing excites us more than serving. And as part of our service, we also come up. We've also come a long way with the community. They help spread the word. It's also important that the Ghanaian culture of giving is not lost on us. So Christmas time, typically in Ghana, you will have gifts and presents when we were younger. Maybe that might be the first time that you're having chicken or drinking a bottle of Fanta or Muscatella. So it's a spirit of giving.
Right.
And a better way of doing it is to have this form of fairness in giving. And that is a quiz. Unfortunately, not many people won. Only one person will win the first prize, but also we've got consolation prizes. I think the one that excites me most is the senior partners prize for
The one that
our
shared
young
the most,
sister
yeah.
for Tilly.
And
So-
interestingly, she's won it 2 years in a row.
Yes, she has. She's very, very busy on social media. We're finding a way of also checking those who share it by WhatsApp. I see some of them, not all of them. Not all of them are my contacts, so I can't see. But we are looking at ways of spreading the good fortune and the giving spirit to as far and wide as we can. For Tilly, I think I've got good news for her. We did say that she will have
A spa session, yeah.
worth about 150, but I think she might even have an overnight stay.
Oh,
And one of the poshest spa
Right.
in the UK,
good.
in Sussex. And we will speak to her to find out. I think the package comes to about £500.
Oh, wow.
But it's just so to make it comfortable for her instead of just driving there and getting all the massage and come back. I would recommend the bamboo spa massage
yeah.
for her. Very, very good. I've had that. I've always had a back spasm because of the workouts that I do. And when I had that, it was brilliant. It's one of the best places that I've ever been for a weekend. It's so good. And I think I'll recommend that. That is if she accepts it.
Well, I can see her reaction on social media clapping. I think she has already accepted that. Well, that's a good thing you have when you have a trusted organization like BWF Solicitors doing your bidding for you and also helping you gain knowledge and experience. And they appreciate your support. This afternoon, as I mentioned, we're going to look at how to avoid delays in obtaining certificate of sponsorship and defined certificate of sponsorship for those who would want to employ people from outside of the UK. But in the meantime, let's get into the box of knowledge. During the week, we had our own Chancellor, the accountant of BWF Solicitors. I call him the Lord Chancellor, Mr. Theophilus Forson, celebrated his birthday. We're wishing you another year filled with love, success, and everything else. You deserve to be happy. So happy birthday to you, Lord Chancellor, Professor Theophilus Forson. Congratulations on your new age. God bless you, and keep doing that wonderful job you do every day for BWF Solicitors and our clients. The Home Office has said that they are confirming something. They're starting in spring 2024, that is end of February into March. Children will no longer have to show a separate child element to the minimum income requirement of £29,000. This leaves a single rate for any family members being brought to the UK. All other elements of the minimum income requirement, such as how it can be met and exceptional circumstances, will remain unchanged. This is from government's response to the minimum income requirement petition that was put in, and the response came on the 10th of January 2024. Very recent and fresh from the coast. The Home Office has confirmed that starting spring 2024, children will no longer have to show a separate element to the minimum income requirement. Now, let me quickly go to Uncle Ben and find out. We're hearing 18,600, then 38,700. Now we're talking 29,000 and an update to it. What's happening?
Well, so it's been a pretty busy December, and I think it's even going to be busier this year. And what people know is that there's been so many changes. Election is just around the corner, and immigration is a hot cake, both in the United Kingdom and in the United States of America. Now, politicians don't talk without mentioning immigration. And for us as lawyers who practice in this area, and community lawyers for that matter, we need to make sure that, first of all, we understand where they're going with this and also what they're proposing so that we prepare the community. Now, as you would know, since 2012 or thereabout, well, since 2000 and yes, about 2 or 6 thereabout, they brought in this minimum income requirement of 18,000 for spouses and partners. So a spouse would be somebody you're married to, a partner is a common law relationship. Even on that, the law has changed. You don't have to have lived together with a person. So we'll look at that subject maybe this week or next week. However, the minimum income requirement, which is the MIR, has an element for dependents and children.
Okay.
And we know the first child is 3,800 additional
To
to
the
the
18,000.
18,600. And then the
Okay.
next child is 2,004, and then 2,004 and then 2,004. However, the government is now, in their response to the petition, or when they set the new minimum income requirement to 38,000, petitions were signed. And within the UK law, once petitions are signed and they reach a certain threshold, I think it's 100,000, the government will have to respond. So the government response is to make it clearer.
Okay.
Now, first of all, we're not doing the 38,000. We're going to do 29,000. We think 29,000 is fair. That's what the government is saying. And the 29,000 will cover families. So when we say there's no separate child element, it means that the 29,000, even if you're bringing 2, 3, 4 children, you don't have to show extra for the children.
Okay.
So I said it's good news. It's good news because clearly if on top of the 29,000, they were going to ask for extra element for children, then it becomes more difficult for children to come. Having said that, in our community, not many people will earn 29,000. I think the average income in our community is 18,000. And when the UK average is about 29, 26, 29, it doesn't mean that in our community, our average is about 18,000. And therefore, even with the 18,000, we had about 33% of families who could not meet the threshold, and they were separated. There's a grouping for families and children, and they have confirmed that this will affect about 45 to 50% of our community. And Kweku, just bear in mind, if a father or a mother cannot be reunited with their partners and their children, then it becomes difficult. We know there are children here who are British and who cannot have their father or mother join them because they cannot meet the income threshold. And therefore, some of these children are exhibiting mental health problems. And the government said they're going to do an impact assessment.
Yeah.
So every rules or law that is brought, they do an impact assessment. You are in social services, so you understand what that means. But I've never seen an impact assessment that says that the government is wrong. So, but we'll look forward to that. But this is good news. It means that the 29,000, when it starts in the spring, somebody will say, lawyer, what is spring? Spring is a period between end of March and May. That is a spring period. So sometimes it goes to June. So we think that it's going to be first week in April when this will start. Yeah.
Okay. So if it is that you are trying to put in an application and you're thinking of the minimum income requirement, the government says that is going to stay at £29,000 per annum. And if you have children that you are adding to that application, you do not have to pay anything extra. So as on your screen, the Home Office has confirmed that starting in spring 2024, children will no longer have to show a separate child element to the minimum income requirement of 29,000. That's what Uncle Ben has explained to us. Now we look at our nugget for this week. We're talking about something that has also been confirmed here. Last year we kept talking about the deprivation of British citizenship without advance notice, and we kept on about it, and we're asking lawyers to look at all these things and appeal for us and the rest of it. Now the Supreme Court is saying something. The process to deprive a person of their British citizenship must be seen to be fair. However, there are circumstances that require that notice is not given before depriving the person of their British citizenship. Example, where there is proper reason to believe that the individual would attempt to frustrate the process upon receipt of such notification. This is a case, Kolishak, that is deprivation procedure and discretion, Albania, UK, UT 294IAC. And when we bring you these things, obviously, I'll go to the experts for them to expatiate for us. Does it say that at all costs we have to be given notice, or what are the circumstances that would stop the Secretary of State from telling you that I'm taking your British citizenship away from you? Agobet.
Yeah, so I appeared on TV, on GMTV, which is a British mainstream TV, about 3 years ago, when this whole thing started, deprivation without notification, and I appeared as a right-wing TV station, a poor child from Apam and Bekwai, appearing with two strong right-wing journalists, and our own Nanaya, who was a host, was kind enough to invite me. They've invited me several times, but I've decided not to go again. And clearly, it was a debate that we had. I felt that it was an unfair law, but people felt that in situations of terrorism, it was good. But you can see from this case, Kolichak, who is an Albanian national with a record of criminal convictions, obviously had naturalized as a British citizen. So he could give up his Albanian citizenship. Albania allows dual nationality.
Okay.
So when he became British, he still held on to his Albanian nationality. And when they were going to deprive him of his citizen, they didn't inform him. And the reason is that we didn't want him to go and renounce his Albanian nationality, because if he renounces his Albanian nationality,
There would be a state to take him to.
then if they revoke or deprive, he will be a stateless person. And the British Nationality Act 1981 doesn't allow that.
Right.
So similar to a Ghanaian. So if you're Ghanaian and your conduct is such that it rise people of the United Kingdom, and they conclude that they have to deprive you of your citizenship, then clearly it means that you may not get notification. And that's the essence of this case. It's a very draconian measure, but clearly it's what it is. Yeah.
Right. So the process to deprive a person of their British citizenship must be seen to be fair. However, as Agben has explained and what has been confirmed, the circumstances that require the notice is not given before depriving the person of their British citizenship. So take note of that. If you find yourself in a situation like that and you are faced with such a difficulty, all I will ask you to do is to contact BWF solicitors. They will do everything possible to get you to be on the right side of the law. 0208 493 7340 is their telephone number, or you call the emergency number 077 127 61884. And with that, we take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going straight into our discussion. There is another update that we may be giving you later on if we get our colleague Namayeti. I understand the ethics, that is the comparison of records, where certificates here in the UK and back home from where you are from, and we comparing the English language certificate. There being some changes this morning. She mentioned to me, there's some changes. It's well, don't worry. Don't brief me alone. We will be having that on the program if we have the chance. So later on, we'll be looking at that. So today, we're going to do a lot of recapping, a lot of relearning, and of course, getting ourselves right on the right side of the law. It's a community and the law, and brought to you by BWF Solicitors. We'll be right back.
Welcome to BWF Solicitors, a trusted and experienced family law firm specializing in immigration and naturalization, as well as dispute resolution. Meet Bernard Owusu, our esteemed senior partner with over 30 years of experience and known for his expertise and dedication to serving our clients and the community. BWF Solicitors stand for integrity, respect, excellence, teamwork, diversity and inclusion, and service to the community. We provide tailored assistance across all areas of UK and Ghana law. At BWF Solicitors, every day is filled with dedication, creativity, and a commitment to finding the best solutions for our clients. Led by experienced senior partner Bernard Owusu, the team at BWF Solicitors is ready to assist you with your immigration, naturalization, dispute resolution, family law, new wills and probate, Ghana law and practice needs. We are dedicated to providing solutions to our clients' problems. You can find us at the 4th floor, Anna House, 214 to 218 High Road, Seven Sisters, London, N15 4NP. Main office line 0208 493 7340 or our emergency line 07712 761 884.
Welcome back and thank you for sticking around. We're live on BW TV, also live on BWF Solicitors Facebook, BWF Solicitors YouTube, and all the social media platforms. So when you come on, please let's feel your presence. Click the notification button so that whatever content we put out there, you have the chance of seeing it first. And also share so that other people will benefit from the knowledge we are dishing out here. The experience is so very vital. This program has encouraged and empowered people to be able to stand on their own when it comes to dealing with certain legal issues. But in any case, the backfall is on BWF Solicitors, where we can go to them Monday to Friday
Is it possible?
9:30 in the morning and 6 p.m. in the evening. Call them 0208 493 7340, 0208 493 7340, or 077 127 61884. And somebody has won that wonderful prize, the Senior Partners Appreciation Prize, and that's for sharing and sharing and sharing and sharing. Listen, keep doing it, because I know definitely once it's started, the tradition will go on, and same time next year we'll be having another person winning that wonderful prize. Maybe by then I would have resigned to be on the other side so I can win it myself. But it's all good. It's all real good. Okay, now let's look at what we are going to look at again. Now, the topic is how to avoid delays in obtaining certificate of sponsorship and define certificate of sponsorship. And as I mentioned, the senior partner is here, and he is going to help us unravel this. Okay, Ben, when we say certificate of sponsorship, as I said, we're going to learn and learn again, and also to be sure that we're doing it right. Recently, there have been delays in people getting their certificates and even getting the approval for them to increase the number of vacancies that they can recruit to. All these things have been worries, and that's why, as I mentioned, because of people asking those questions, we want to look at that. But let's do the basics. Certificate of sponsorship and define certificate of sponsorship. It may kind of confuse the people.
Okay, so when we say certificate of sponsorship and define certificate of sponsorship, we're referring to that electronic certificate that is given to migrant workers to be able to work in the UK with a licensed sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, a licensed sponsor is someone who's applied to the Home Office and has been given permission to use their outfit to employ people from outside and within UK to work. And through that, they are able to help the people or the workers apply for limited leave to remain, either on a 3-year route or the 5-year route, both of which will lead to settlement.
Mm.
So it's an electronic certificate which is issued by a skilled migrant sponsor employer to an employee to enable them apply for limited leave to enter, which is a DCOS as a defined, or limited leave to remain, which is a COS, certificate of sponsorship. Now, without this electronic certificate, you cannot apply to come here or to stay. And for the sponsor employer, this is how they employ you. So when they issue the certificate will have terms that is relevant to your employment. And that is how the Home Office will also become aware. Because I use the word electronic. Some people may have a paper, but the paper is just a receipt. The certificate itself is an electronic format. So once it's issued, the Home Office will see, because the employer, who is a skilled migrant worker sponsor, has a system, a portal, which is called SMS, which is a sponsor management system, the sponsors management system. And that allows them to interact with the Home Office, issue, cancel, revoke, update, correct the way that they bring people here.
Okay. So I'm assuming that I have gone through all the processes. I've got my license. I have brought in people according to the vacancy that I declared, and it has been granted. Do I qualify to ask for an increase if I have managed to expand my scope?
So when you initially make your application, you're making a business case.
Right.
So you're making a business case for why you should be allowed to employ people who are not British, settled here, or bring people from outside.
Okay.
So the business case is that I, Akua Ajewa Enterprise, I have a restaurant in the UK. We serve Ghanaian food. We're having difficulty employing chefs because most of the chefs that we employed do not have the experience of cooking Ghanaian food, and therefore I want to bring people from outside. Now, I've used that as an example, but it's a general applicability of the business case. You then fill your forms, you indicate how many people you need, what vacancies you have, the job description, how many hours these people will work on a weekly basis, and what the income is, either annual, monthly, or weekly.
Okay.
So once you complete that with your initial application, the Home Office will then determine whether you should be given a license. When they give you the license, they might give you 1, 2, 3, 5, depending on the business case you made.
Okay.
For permission to employ people here, not to bring them from outside. Because they give you a COS, they might be 1, 2, 3, or 5. But if you want to bring people from outside, you have to go on your SMS and request a DCOS. That is a defined certificate of sponsorship. Only a few months ago, when our clients did it, it only took 24 hours. When it started last 2 years, there were clients that were looking after. You know, we could get this within 24 hours. Sometimes within hours, we get it. It was the COS which took about a couple of days or a week.
Now, defined, it's
the defined was straightforward.
Okay.
That was before middle of last year, towards the end of last year.
Right.
And I'm going to say this because I think we all must be very aware of what is going on. The Home Office has intelligence. And the way they gather the intelligence is the way every security agency gathers its intelligence. Some of the intelligence is picked from sources. So it might be from news source, from report, from people who have been slighted, from people who are intelligent recruited. There are people in our community who works for the intelligence agency that obviously. I know.
Obviously.
Okay? And our language, even there are people who are recruited to listen to our language and also report to the Home Office. And all this came about because there's a case that I will show. I think we can show that case. I will, not now. We will show it later. I haven't sent that to you. I'll send it to you later. And people will see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I'm trying to be as, as general as I can be. I don't want to be specific. So there's this intelligence that they've gathered.
Right.
And if you look at the response of the Prime Minister, the Secretary of State for the Home Office, last 3, 4, 5 months, when they were announcing the changes with students switching on the 17th of July, to the skilled worker route, they said something. People didn't pay attention. They said, we are now going to enforce regulation. I'm not sure whether people paid attention. So what is going on now is enforcement of the regulation. Because when you put in a request, when you do the COS, you say a lot of stuff. You give the names of the people you want to employ.
Yeah.
You give the job description, how much you're going to pay them. When you do a defined certificate of sponsorship, you don't say the name of the people you're going to employ, but you give the job description and how much you're going to. So this process enables the Home Office to pause and review your work. So what is going on, and I'm happy to say this, is an intelligent way of regulating you instead of coming for a compliance visit. They are now using this because everybody will request an increase.
Yeah.
Once you're a business, if you have a need for staff, you will request an increase of COS and DCOS. This is the time for the Home Office to pause and go through each and every request to determine the 5 duties that we discussed before.
Yes.
Whether you're compliant with the 5 duties. And we'll come to that. And this is why we're doing this program. It's for people, especially the business owners, to be aware that it's an intelligence gathering.
Okay.
So the Home Office has recruited a lot of people to look at this. So once you put in your request, they pick their request, they write to you and demand certain things. The demand they've made on you is to assess you. It's not a compliance visit, it's not a compliance audit, but it can be a compliance visit or a compliance audit. Because there's a business I'm working for. Yesterday, I was doing something for them. It's a new business. They instructed us only a few days ago. And, we obviously, when we come in, what we want to see is things that will not cause you problem. So we come in, we make sure that whatever is going, because it's going to them. The request they've made for information and documents is going to them. And they said they will give you a response within 20 working days. What do you think they're doing over the 20 working days? They're going to review each and every item that you send to them. And do you understand the 5 duties? Are you complying with the 5 duties? It's your job description. Does your job description meet the SOC? Does your job description meet the UK employment law? Have you put in a recouping clause, which is what this case I will share later did? They put in a recouping clause, and they were recouping about 3,500 from their staff. They were taking it out of their wages, and that is why they shut them down. They've gone to the High Court. High Court has told them, no, what the Home Office did is right. You can't have your license back. And Kweku, it can be scary. Yeah. So we will take it one by, because I want us to be meticulous on this so that it helps with our community.
I was going to ask, doing the right thing or putting your business case across so they would grant the increase in numbers you're looking for, and showcasing that you have a business need. How do you go about this, and what does it entail really?
Okay, so to make a business case is to have a business development in place. So there's a case that I'm looking at. Already she's got about 25 individual clients from 2019.
Okay.
And these are clients given to her by the local authority.
Mhm.
Now, every client, some of them require 24-hour care.
Right.
So, in certain instances, you might have two people on a shift, and in other instances, in a day, you will have a minimum of four people. Because if it's 24 hours and somebody's doing 7 hours, you will have breaks. So, you need four people
to do
to
that.
cover. It's 17 people, it's 4 times 17. Okay?
Mhm.
That is how many people you need. Bear in mind that there's a turnover. So, but some people will come, they will leave. She's also got a new contract. And the new contract is from a local authority. I know some of my clients are watching, so I'm just being careful. From a local authority,
Yeah.
they've given her another four people. The NHS is giving her an open contract.
Okay.
And she got that October 2023. So she wants 15 6145s, and she wants 5 6146. 6145 is care assistants or care workers, and 6146 is senior carers. Out of the 15, 5 are going to be sleeping or living, yeah, and the others are going to be domiciliary. So either way, she needs these people.
Yeah.
So how do you prove to the Home Office that you
That you
need
need
these
those
people?
people, yeah.
But they don't only ask you for your contracts. They said, make a business case. So I sit down, I look at it, and I make my business case. My business case is not, oh, I've got this contract, I need these people. No, that's not my business case. You need to, one, do the one-on-one, the two-on-twos, the three-on-threes, or the four-on-fours. The 24-hour, the 12-hour shift, and all those things. Because bear in mind that under the EU law, which British is still, there's a working time condition. People cannot work beyond certain hours. So
yeah.
these are all the legal things that you have to put in. And if you don't, Home Office will say you breach number 4 of your duties. And we'll go through that.
Yeah. So then the business case here is not just sitting down and saying, I've got a contract and I need 10, 20 people. Why do you need 10 or 20 people? You'll have to justify that and give very cogent reasons and arguments behind why you need those. So for instance, if you have a client that needs 4 to 1, do you just need 4 people? Do you need people who would take over the shifts in between the contracts and all the other bits? These are things that have to be done. And I would ask it might sound naive, but would you advise that people give such business case preparation and also evidencing their business needs to an expert to do, a lawyer, for instance?
Okay, so in this work, the people who now have the right or the privilege, not right, privilege, to bring people from outside, they've been doing this work for a long time. These businesses, some of them have had these businesses for decades. Some have had it for a few years. So they know their job. Before they went for the sponsorship license, they were getting their cases. They are successful businesses.
Okay.
I mean, everybody I know in this business is very successful. And they've been doing their work right. That's why they've got a CQCs or the local authority inspectorate, or sometimes you even have the Ofsted if you've got children within your care, although children will not come under this. So they know their business. They know how to acquire businesses. But if, like the case we will see, you brought in 350 people and you're not acquiring businesses, you're not doing business development, then they want to know, how are you able to ask for more? Do you have work?
Yeah.
And I have to add this. The reason why they are being particularly detailed and delaying your request is, in addition to the 5 duties, is to know that you've got work.
Okay.
So if you've got work, if you've got one person, how do you recruit 5 people or 6 people for that one person? That is a case
you'd have to make.
You have to make. And making the case is not only making the case, but situate the case, the business case, to the needs of the business, but also in compliance with your duties.
Okay. Those 5 things.
So those 5 duties, and maybe when you ask me, we'll go through the duties one by one.
Yeah.
The first one.
I was looking at making the business case, showcasing that you have the vacancies, and exhibiting that when it's granted you'll be a very responsible employer and the rest of it. So before we come to that, I have one client who would need 4-to-1 assistance. I've made a business case, but the Home Office is saying that we don't believe that you would need 5 people to work for one person. How do I prove? How do I sustain my argument to say that I really need 5 people and may even need more because I'm bidding and doing my business development?
Okay. So since last month, the Home Office does not want to look at historical, future contracts. So when they write to you now, they say we want current contract.
Okay.
Before they look at contracts.
Mm-hmm.
So a contract can be your bidding process, or maybe I'm buying a property. All those forms part of your business case, but they insist that they want proof of contract now.
No, okay.
It is your business. You know how many people you put on. Yes, maybe because you want to maximize the hours for some people, maybe you want, instead of 4, you do 2. Because we hear about nursing homes where instead of 4-to-1, they do 1-to-1. And we've seen that this business that we will show now, some of the reasons why they lost their license or some of these reasons. So you have to justify. So for example, I have come to understand that in the domiciliary care business, or in the care business, or in the social care business, there are things that it's not because of Home Office that you're doing it. You're doing it because of your inspectorate, which is the Care Quality Commission, CQC. And CQC wants certain things. If you're prescribing not prescribing, if you're dispensing medication, must you be supervised? Should you have another person? There might be somebody who's a female or a male, and they've specifically asked for a male carer. Somebody may say 1-to-1. Somebody may need there's equipment. I've forgotten what the name is. I'm learning a lot in this business, and you need 2 people to operate it. So for this hour, 7 hours, we need 2 people. It's a 24-hour contract. The working rights and the law doesn't allow me to make this person work for more than so many hours without a break. When you do 7 hours, you need a break. Yeah. When you do 5 hours, you need a break. This break is unpaid. So once you're on break, this care is 7 hours. Who's looking after the person?
Yeah.
Remember that you will not do 7 days. You will do 5 days. And if you're doing 10-hour shifts or 12-hour shifts, which you can do because the nurses do, how many days make 37.5?
Yeah. So
that's 3.5 days. So the other 3.5 days, you need more people there. And these are nuances that because you understand your business, you bring to it. But so we know how to do. There's a contract that I've just reviewed, and the way that the local authority is couched the needs of their clients, which you are going to provide a service for, is so beautiful. So I have copied it, and I'm using it to help some of my clients. Because what it does is that it shows a matrix of how this person needs extra help.
Okay.
And that is how you do your business case. But it's not only business case. Business case is one aspect of the problem. Yeah.
Okay. We're going to look at proving genuine vacancies, which has become an issue. And with the audits, the visits, and even making your business cases has become one of the
And I bring the last one.
issues. How do we prove?
Oh, sorry, the first one.
How do we prove that we have genuine vacancies, Uncle Ben?
So, first of all, as part of your duties, you have to prove that every certificate of sponsorship that you give out is to meet a need. So there's vacancy, and the vacancy is genuine. Now, if you don't have the work, the vacancy can never be genuine.
Okay.
So yes. So when you look at this temporary workers guidance, if you go down, first of all, go. Just go.
Let's keep going, yeah.
You will see that, stop there. First of all, you will see that the sponsorship itself is a privilege. L 1.4, a worker must have an offer of a job which meets the relevant criteria and approved sponsor before they can make a valid application to enter. If you go down, you also see that within the guidance, they've defined what a genuine vacancy is, and I look for it. The genuine vacancy is a vacancy which has not been created to bring somebody from the UK. Mm-hmm. But it's a vacancy which is one, available, and two, a need for it. So when you look at all this, it means that if somebody doesn't have work and they are bringing people in, then they don't have genuine vacancy.
Okay.
And these are some of the problems we're facing in the community.
Right.
People are complaining that my employer brought me, but they haven't given me work. And if you look at L 8.7, if you are applying under the skilled migrant scale, it goes on. If your business involves using a physical office, it goes on. Below are two examples of segment which may not be satisfying. So if you look at example 1, you do not currently employ or have never employed anyone in a role which means a skilled worker. That's one. You tell us you require or have already sponsored a person into that role. That's another one. Mm-hmm. But when you go below it, it tells you that genuine vacancy is not you just creating a position to bring somebody here or to allow somebody to stay here.
Okay.
And when there's no employment or hours for people to work, mm-hmm. it means you don't have vacancy. And clearly, if you don't have vacancy, you breach, and you brought somebody in, you breach not only one of the duties, you breach 3 of your duties.
Okay.
Because if you don't have a vacancy and you've employed a person and the person is not working for more than 20 days, you have to report.
Okay.
2, if you don't...
Is it the employer that has to report,
yes,
or the employee?
The employer.
Okay.
The employer has to report on the SMS.
Okay.
For 20 days. If they don't work for 20 days, if they come to the UK and they don't work for 20 days, you have to report. Whether it's your fault or their fault, you have to report it. If you don't report, you breach your first duty. Mm-hmm. That is a reporting duty. Right. 2, if you brought somebody here, you've given them a contract of employment, you've given them a COS, you stated on the COS that you'll be working 37.5 hours and we will pay you £10.75
an hour.
Mm-hmm. And the person arrives, and for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, the person has no work. You're not also paying them. You breach your duty number 2, breach of UK laws. Because employment rule says that if you employ somebody, you have to pay them. Mm-hmm. Yes, when we take the strict meaning of employment law, if they go to court, they will fail. The best case scenario is that they will get a week's payment. But for Home Office, they are not interested in only the employment law. They are interested in the fairness of the whole process.
Right.
And I said you breach 3 duties. The other duty you've breached is the immigration rules. Because the person who is not working is not a sponsored migrant. You have to revoke or cancel their COS because they're not working.
Yeah.
Whether by their choice or because there's no
accident.
work. So these are some of the duties, and the punishment is very severe. We'll see the punishment in a minute.
Well, then, I think we've mentioned duties. These 5 duties. Can we recap them? So
Yes.
at least it would situate our discussion in the right stead where people will understand that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that each employer has to meet before you can genuinely employ somebody to work for you, either within the UK or from outside of the UK.
So when you look at the sponsorship, migrant, and temporary worker guidance, the 2 types. There's one that we've looked at. There's another one that I haven't shared. That's happened. That's number 2, which I'll share later.
Right.
It clearly lists 5 duties. The first duty is a duty of record keeping.
Okay.
The second duty is a duty of reporting. The third duty is a duty to comply with UK immigration rules. The fourth duty is a duty to comply with the wider UK laws. And the final duty is to make sure that your conduct is not so reprehensive that it's against public policy.
Okay.
And these are duties that it takes seriously. So what are the first record-keeping duties? So, and that's why I said, anytime you apply for COS or DCOS to increase COS or to DCOS, they want to see whether you're complying with it. So they ask you, bring your rota.
Duty rota.
Yes, bring a copy of your rota. You know what they're looking for. They know how many people you've employed. They want to see the names there. They want to see that every week they are working.
Right.
Every week. If they are not working, they could be off sick or on holiday.
And that's reporting.
But Kweku, where would that be?
That will be in your HR.
Yes, your HR records. That will be on the rota. If somebody is on holiday, it will show on the spreadsheet that this person is on holiday. If this person is sick, it will. So when they say bring your rota, they are not only, so somebody will go and create a rota and say, put some people there. It won't work because what they're looking at a snapshot of a typical week. Sometimes they look at 3 months gap and say, we can see that we've given you a certificate for 120 people, but we've checked consistently, only 20 people are doing full-time.
Yeah.
The rest, we can see that they haven't worked for 28 days. You haven't reported. You've breached your duty. We can see. So they can ask you, bring their pay slips. You send the pay slips, and then you will also see that on the pay slips, you're not paying them what you said you will pay them. The other duty that people are not conversant with is the amount you stated on the COS that you will pay. So when you issue the COS, you told the Home Office that I'll pay them £12 an hour. But the going rate is £10.75. So somebody may, but the going rate is £10.75. Why are you paying £12? And then you reduce it to £10.75.
You should have reported that.
You have to report it. You have to justify why you reduce their income because it is not in consonant with the COS that you issue. So the many things that you have given to the Home Office, that is how they're going to assess you. And I keep saying that the request for COS is you asking them to do a mini or a full compliance audit. And if your systems are not in place, if you don't have a business case, those that they've given you, if you're not even managing them well, and the documents they've asked you to send, there's an issue, then it becomes a problem. There's a contract that I review, the contract of employment. And the contract of employment, which is very typical in the industry, they give 0-hour contract. No way. You can't give this 0-hour contract to someone that you've issued COS. Because on the COS, you guaranteed to the Home Office
that you're going to give them a certain
every week a minimum of 37.5 hours. So why are you now saying 0 hours in your contract? Because you cannot say, we cannot guarantee your hours of work. Of course, you have to guarantee. Because you've guaranteed to the Home Office. That is why you've issued a COS. And these are some of the petty, they're not petty, But I say
There are,
petty in
there are
the
little,
sense
little things. So
That's right.
somebody will say the small print.
yes,
Yeah.
and you might not know. So when I ask you, send me a copy of your employment contract. There are things that I'm looking for. I will see, you might not see. There's one that has just been sent to me. And already, as soon as I saw her, I realized that she hasn't got pension in there. So there's no pension. She hasn't subscribed to pension. And this is something that I will tell her later when I leave here. And for me, it's very easy to be successful, but it's also that you use the right tools to be successful. What I know is that there are, people who are very unhappy with some of the agents and employers. I mean, if you're an agent and you've gone to bring somebody from Ghana, you should be able to ask the agent that, where am I going to work? How many hours am I going to work? I mean, I've done a video on this. And these are things that we as a community need to start asking. And I'm very proud, and I'll say this. I know that sometimes, it becomes a cliche. The businesses that I know that I look after, they overwhelmingly do the right thing. If somebody has an issue with anyone, you have to use the law. And if they believe that they've employed you and you're not doing what you should be doing, they will revoke your COS. That they will cancel it and withdraw. And then you will have 60 days to go and find another one or leave the UK. And clearly, this program is such that we want to open the the processes and explain the processes and show how you can still run this business with one eye on your care quality commission responsibility, one eye on the immigration responsibility, and then one eye on UK law. Because when you're making your decisions, some may affect somebody's employment rights. Mm-hmm. Some may affect your own duties, and some may also affect the Care Quality Commission's requirement. So it's a broad outline. Mm-hmm. And to answer your question, that do you need a back office to help you? If you think you want to run it, that's fine. But my experience is that all those who've said, oh, I can run this or have attempted to run, when they later come to us and we review their processes, we know that they haven't checked the English, they didn't understand the English, they didn't understand the records that they have to keep. DBS is a requirement for CQC. Yeah. It's a requirement for them.
And it's an enhanced one as well.
That's correct. Mm-hmm. And the employment requirements, the contract, you can go on internet and you see template employment contract. You can copy, it's up to you. But is that the right one for you? Yeah. And these are some of the reasons why I keep saying that the reason why there's a delay is because of intelligence about what is going on, mm-hmm. but also is to make sure that they are auditing you without even coming to your premises. Right. So the document you send to them, I'll tell you what they ask for. So the first thing they ask for is a business case, which is a contract, right, to show that you've got the vacancies.
That's right.
The second one is a hierarchy. When you do the enhanced hierarchy, you show the people who are working for you by name, and then you show the vacancies. Mm-hmm. The third one is pay slips. Mm-hmm. When they ask for pay slips, they want to see whether you're doing certain things. Example, pension, whether they're paying pension. They also ask for employment contract templates. Okay. It's to determine whether you're complying with the wider UK law or whether the employment contract is compliant with the COS that you've issued. Yeah. They also ask for, those people who are working, their rota. Okay. And then the rota itself will give them a bird's eye view over a 3-month period to see that you've done all the right things over that period. And I must tell you that it's a lot of if you're not doing it, mm-hmm. it's a lot of hard work to correct it. If you're doing it, which a majority of them are doing the right thing, and I'm happy to say that majority of them are doing the right thing, but also there are people who don't have the resource or the capabilities to understand. There's an advice that I gave somebody who's just got a license, and the sort of things he wants to do with a license, I had to stop him. So I've stopped him that he can't do it. And he's very, very grateful because I've told him that you're a young man, and if you're not careful and you involve yourself in some of the things, it's a very creative idea that he had. But I said, please, not for this one, because they will tear you apart if you go and do it. And I went through the guidance notes that we shared earlier on, and there's another one which is part 2 with him, just so that he doesn't feel that it's me that is preventing him to apply his creative mind, but it's that there is a requirement under the law.
If you just joined us, we are live on BWTV, and we have the senior partner, BWF Solicitors, Uncle Ben, showing us how to avoid delays in obtaining certificate of sponsorship and defined certificate of sponsorship when it is that you want to employ people from outside of the UK to come help you run and in your business, and especially with the care industry.
The second one I sent you.
BWF Solicitors is right on the 4th floor of the House, 214-218 Tottenham High Road, Seven Sisters, North London, N15 4NP. They work Monday to Friday, 9:30 in the morning and 6 p.m. in the evening. Call them on 0208 493 7345 or 077 127 61884. We're taking another quick break, and when we come back, we'll be looking at how to get your documents and other things ready for the unannounced UKBA visit, how to also stay on the right-hand side of the law and make sure you're meeting all the 5 requirements that is mentioned. And then again, if it is that you have made a business case and want a contract for extra hands to come help with you undertake your contract, what do you do to make sure that it's granted you in time? Uncle Ben has mentioned that the Home Office will be looking at certain things. If not anything, they will ask for your rota. That will tell you or tell them that people are working with you and you're paying them. And of course, people have not stayed out of work for more than the 20 days that they are supposed to probably even stay out, and you have not reported, and the rest of it. The details are many, but with us on the Community and the Law, you would have the chance to understand them and ask your questions. Well, the lines will be very active very soon, 0208 493 7345, and then you can ask Uncle Ben any question you have. We'll be right back.
Our private client services team is recognized for providing clear and practical legal advice to our clients in the United Kingdom and Ghana. Expert help with will writing, probate or estate administration. Our will writers and probate lawyers can act for you to obtain grant of probate and carry out estate administration on your behalf. The probate takes place after someone dies. If there's a will, the named executor is responsible for ensuring that the estate of the deceased is secured, assessing its value and paying any inheritance tax. If there is no will, the interstate and inheritance rules require similar responsibilities. Our lawyers offer strategic and practical solutions to the issues which clients face, whether it's in relation to succession planning, will preparation, probate and the administration of estates, immigration and visas, contentious family or probate disputes, administering estates often with inheritance cross-border issues, international trust advice including residence, domicile issues, wealth preservation, a fast, efficient service from SRA-regulated professionals, transparent pricing. BWF Solicitors, let us take care of probate.
Welcome back and thank you for sticking around. Those of you on the various platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and all the other social media platforms, yes, let me feel your presence and I will be acknowledging you very soon. Thank you very much for doing that. Pick up the link, share on your various platforms, and let people have the benefit of the knowledge you're also acquiring on the program. The lines we activating very soon, 0208-493-7345. You see it at the bottom of your screen. We also have our text number 0739920848. And if you send us a WhatsApp, either a voice note or a text, you can do that on WhatsApp 07950 07950 How to avoid delays in obtaining certificate of sponsorship and defined certificate of sponsorship. Uncle Ben is right here with us, senior partner BWF Solicitors. Uncle Ben, before we went on the break, you were talking about situations where we can avoid the 5 things that we need to really follow and there are steps we need to attain, so to speak. How do we avoid making sure that, because from what you said, I can see that sometimes when you skip or miss the first one, like reporting, it goes on to get you to breach the other ones as well. How do we avoid those pitfalls?
Okay, so to help me answer, I mean, I can rattle the answer, but let's go to reality. And we're going to show you a case law. First of all, let's go to the top of the case so that people know what a case is. So this is a recent case. It's a 2023 case. And the name of the care home is Prestwick Care Limited, Matora Care Homes Limited, Matora Care Homes Sutherland Limited, Trading Prestwick Care versus the Secretary of State for those. So this is a live case.
Okay.
So I'm not just going to rattle the answer. I just want to show people the problems you have. When you put this name, Prestwick Care Limited, in your Google, you will see Daily Mail, Times, Guardian, they've all reported about this business.
Okay.
It's a big business. And they started this sponsorship thing in 2009. It's not a recent thing. So let's go. Let's go to the facts of the, hold on. Just hold on. Background. Let's do the background.
All right.
So the claimant, a group of 3 companies operating under the collective name Prestwick Care, operates 15 care homes. They are not cheap. And they have 813 beds. They employ 800, so they are a big business. In the period between 24th and 27th of October 2020, the defendant sponsors compliance team. So the Home Office is a defendant.
Yeah.
Because he sued the Home Office. Now, why did you take my sponsorship license?
Yeah.
So the defendant, the compliance team went to the care home. And look at what happened. When they went to the care home, they assessed their adherence to the guidance for sponsors. This guidance is public knowledge. We've shared one already. That is what I use to work for my clients. So they want to find out whether they are adhering to the sponsors. Look at what it says. In the course of the visit, the team interviewed a name the claimant described as a licensed level 1 user and board of directors and 29 members of staff. On the 6th of December 2022, James Dickens of the Compliance Limit wrote to the claimant on the grounds of alleged failures in compliance with which were revealed during the visit. So look at the first one. A, what does it say? Sponsor duty A. The defendant was not satisfied that the role of senior care assistant to which the claimant had assigned a number of staff on a certificate of sponsorship represented a genuine vacancy. That was one of the problems. The other problem is that 8, when we go to 8, it explains what a genuine vacancy is.
Yeah.
Right? But let's go to 9. Paragraph 9. Go. No, you go. Go down. You go. Stop. Go to, yes. The objective of the duties. That is, C1.5. That is a document that I haven't shown, which I will show. This is what it says. The objective of these duties include, but are not limited to, preventing abuse of immigration laws and sponsor system, capturing early any patterns of behavior, addressing possible weakness in processes which can cause those patterns, monitoring compliance with the immigration rules and temporary worker, ensuring sponsors do not behave in a way that is detrimental to the wider public. That is the 5 duties I've mentioned.
Yes.
So when you ask for COS increase and DCOAC, this is what they are checking.
Okay.
You see, they went there. But because there are many people with license, don't take it off yet. They can't go to every business. So when you say, yes, what they want to war until they want back. When you say, give me 10 of this, give me 10 confetti, give me 10 blue, 20 this,
Then
COS.
you open yourself up for the inspection.
Yes. So I will tell you how to avoid this problem. If you don't ask for it, you've got a license, you've already employed people, they can still come.
Yeah.
But you want to know how to avoid the delays. Let's go. Hey, let's go. You go. You go. Stop there. Now, so there was a communication with a claimant, with a business. They then wrote to explain. When you look at D, duty 2, they mention a specific person. Duty 2, as regards Nurse Joseph, the claimant was entitled to pay a lesser rate, which she sought registration as she accepted by the defendant's own guidance. So, did I mention when you reduce the pay that you stated on the COS and the pay on the pay slip?
Mm-hmm.
It's a breach. If you don't report, reduction itself is not a breach. You can reduce the pay. It's a contract between you and the person agrees,
That
okay,
you
don't pay
reduce
me £12, pay me £9, £10.75, which is a going rate. You haven't breached any law, but you have to report it.
Yeah, on your SMS.
If you don't report, and this is the breach, that is the breach. Let's go. Let's go down. Let's go. And then it goes on. It goes on and on. So when you go through all this, and we've given the name of the case, Prestwick, it shows you that this business was not complying with 4 of the 5 duties.
Now, in that situation, do you have to, is there a requirement to comply with all 5? Or you could comply with some and not meet the others?
So you have to comply with each and every one of the 5 duties.
Okay.
I'll clarify the duties again. Your reporting duty, if somebody doesn't come to work, you know that you have to report. If you change your address, you know you have to report. So if you registered with number 1, 7 Sisters, and you move to number 2, it's next door, you have to report on your SMS. 2, record keeping. Complying with record keeping. So I'll give you an example. In this case, there was no record of the interview notes that he took of the employees. He was explaining something, and that thing could only be in the interview note. So if somebody applies to your business and you've interviewed them, you have to keep those records. When you do an RTW, right to work, when you do the right to work, RTW, you have to keep a record. When you don't do this, or if you don't do this, it's a breach of your record keeping. That singular act of not keeping the record. Do you know what rules is also breached?
Well, you haven't done
You could be employing illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
And that is why it's important.
That would not be in the interest of the wider good.
Yes. So every duty it's like a subset. They are all interconnected. And the sad thing is that if you don't do your RTWs, you don't keep your interviews, the application forms, even those that you rejected and didn't employ. Today, I've seen on the internet. One of my clients is put all his vacancies on the internet. As soon as I saw it, I said, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
He's put all his, and on the vacancies, there is a form for you to fill.
Okay.
And because it's a Google form, it's kept at Google online.
So there's a
And
the
therefore,
keeping of records
anytime,
satisfaction.
yes, he wants it, he can draw on it. Brothers and sisters, community members, we obviously want everyone to succeed, but there are things that you do. I know that there are people who genuinely want to succeed, but they are influenced by other people who want to cut corners, and sometimes it boils down to money. Instead of paying an X, somebody will say, oh, pay me Y, and I will do the same thing for you. I've never said that everybody should come to us. That I wouldn't say. We never do that.
No.
I mean, I've been doing this for 32 years. I've never said anywhere. But if you're going to someone, do you know whether the person understands the nature of the job they're doing? Have they done this job? Do they work for businesses? Do they advise businesses? Do they work for care homes and care businesses? Do they have the experience and the knowledge? Is it a firm of solicitors or a one-man business in a corner whose only interest is to make the money? We've always said, when we listen to Sebastian of St. George's and we listen to Nana Ejenim Boateng of St. Maya, there are two things that they said. One, compliance with the law, and two, a back office. You always need to have people who are dedicated to help you. So maybe our next line is, what advice do we give to prevent this from happening to you? And we will look at that once the question comes.
Well, I actually was going to look at what advice you will give. So I think you preempted it. I putting myself as a business person that has to go through all these things. Now I'm confused. I think that I've got my licenses. I think that I've got the business case to ask for more.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I am paying them the right things. I think that I am giving them the right information. I'm declaring everything that has to declare. I am recording everything that's done. And then I put in the application. I open myself for the inspection and the scrutiny. How do I avoid the pitfalls? What advice would you give as a specialist consultant that is helping people do the right things, Uncle Ben?
Okay, so what I will advise every business that has a sponsorship license is to know your duties.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing to do is to know your duties. I've promised my clients that I wanted to do it this week. I think they will get it. This week is still this week, right?
Yeah.
Today's the last week.
Today's the last
so they
day
will
of the
get it. I'm doing a bullet point for all of them. Bullet point for all the clients for them to know their duties. So every duty, I put an example on that. I haven't finished. I will do it. I'll complete it. So know your duties. What are the duties? One, reporting duties. Somebody will say, what is reporting duty? I would say, first of all, go and read your guidance notes if you don't have a lawyer. Mm-hmm. The guidance notes part 1 and part 2, specifically for you, will tell you what the duties are. The first duty, or one of the duties, is record keeping. Okay. The second duty, or one of the duties, is reporting duties. Record keeping is make sure that from the first time that the person puts in an application to come and work for you, mm-hmm. you start keeping those records. The application form, the interview records, the justification to employing the person, how they met the job description. Have they got a portfolio? For example, in the construction industry, I've advised my clients that they should get a portfolio from the person to show that they've got experience and they've done the work before. It might not be to the same standard in the UK, but they've done the work before with a picture. If it's a tiler, you can see that they've done tiles before. They may even have a testimonial or a review from clients. Keep those things. 2, if the person is here and you're employing them, you've done your RTW, which is your right to work. Keep the documents with a copy of their passport, a copy of the biometric, and then the test you did. Keep it. I'm giving you examples. This is not comprehensive, because if I say comprehensive, we will not leave here. The document itself is 76 pages. Make sure that when you do the right to work and it says that they are allowed to work for X number of hours or X number of years, you print, or even better, you save it in your electronic folder. You keep it. Reporting duty. Do you know when you have to report? Do you know that you cannot employ your relative? Do you know that if somebody doesn't come to work for 10 days, you have to report? Do you also know that if somebody's visa is delayed, and is delayed more than the date that you put on the course, because when you issue the course, you put a start date there. If the visa itself is delayed, and for that reason they haven't come, do you know you have to report? Don't assume that because the Home Office is looking at the visa, they are aware. Do you also know that if the person gets a visa and they don't come at the time, do you know that you have to go online and put a note on the SMS and change the start date? Do you also know that when they come, immediately they come, they have to start working? And that even if you're training them, do you also know that that is a requirement that you have to keep records for? Do you know that every pay slip has to be kept? Do you know that every payment you made to them, either in bulk or bits, has to be kept? So that when they ask you the evidence of payment of their wages, you're not now going to look at 3-year bank statement, because every pay slip and the bank statement or evidence of payment, you've kept it. These are some of the reporting duties. Do you also know that if a person comes to you and you've given them a copy of employment contract, do you know that you have to keep it? So that's one. The other one is complying with immigration rules. Do you understand immigration rules? Do you know that the supplementary work that each person is allowed to do, because if somebody here is on a skilled migrant visa, they are allowed to do 20 hours of supplementary work. Do you know that under Appendix SL 8.1, that supplementary work has to be in the same code, same industry, or even better, on a shortage occupation? So if you've employed a Kuyamansa as a care worker, and a Kuyamansa is doing work at Sainsbury's as a shop assistant, a Kuyamansa is in breach of immigration rules. Now, you ask me, well, but it's not my duty to report it. Of course, it's your duty.
It's your duty. You brought the person.
Yes. So these are things that we don't know. And I say, if you don't know, ask. If you can't read, because you come and go and read this bulky document. How do I know?
Not to cut you short, I think the best advice is what I've always been saying, and I will not stop repeating that it is always best for a layman to give his job for an artisan to do for him or her, in the sense that these are technical issues and those things in the small print that if you ignore are going to create huge consequences for you, especially when somebody gives you an offer and they tell you terms and conditions apply. Then definitely it is not a straightforward thing. You would have to look at the small print, and the person that has the eye to look at the small print for you and advise you is a lawyer. And listen, I would advise that, Uncle Ben will not say it, but I'm going to say it, that go to BWF solicitors and let them help you, because from the discussion we have even had today and the previous ones, if you have been following our channel, from that you realize that he knows what he's doing. He's done it so well, he's well versed in it, and he has helped people succeed. In the past year, for instance, we've brought 2 model organizations that have told us what he or BWF Solicitors has done for them, and they are succeeding and they are not falling foul of the law. So go to BWF Solicitors, call them on 0208 493 7340, 0208 493 7340, or 077 127 61884. You know what? I'm not going to ask him to say any more. The rest, I'll keep it and I'll tell you, come home and let's talk. We're taking another quick break, and when we come back, the lines are active. You can ask any question you want, and I will crave the indulgence of Uncle Ben. So we pick up the quick update on what the active situation is, the comparison of the English language, your certificate from Ghana or outside of the UK, and compared to that of the UK, whether you can use that in your applications and more. This is the community and the law, and we have been looking at how to avoid delays in obtaining certificate of sponsorship and defined certificate of sponsorship. Our special guest and resource person, the senior partner of BWF Solicitors, Mr. Bernard Owusu. We'll be right back.
Welcome to BWF Solicitors, a trusted and experienced family law firm specializing in immigration and naturalization, as well as dispute resolution. Meet Bernard Owusu, our esteemed senior partner with over 30 years of experience and known for his expertise and dedication to serving our clients and the community. BWF Solicitors stand for integrity, respect, excellence, teamwork, diversity and inclusion, and service to the community. We provide tailored assistance across all areas of UK and Ghana law. At BWF Solicitors, every day is filled with dedication, creativity, and a commitment to finding the best solutions for our clients. Led by experienced senior partner Bernard Owusu, the team at BWF Solicitors is ready to assist you with your immigration, naturalization, dispute resolution, family law, new wills and probate, Ghana law and practice needs. We are dedicated to providing solutions to our clients' problems. You can find us at the 4th floor, Anna House, 214-218 High Road, Seven Sisters, London, N15 4NP. Main office line 0208 493 7340 or our emergency line 07712 761 884.
His name. Yes, we're right back. Thank you very much for sticking around. It's time for us to go interactive, and the lines are active now. 0208 493 7340. You can send a text to 07399 208468 or send a WhatsApp audio note or text to 07950422780. Now, at this point, as I said, we will be looking at the update on ECTIS. That is the certificate comparison service that's available to you when it is that you're applying for any immigration position or situation, or with your care worker route preparation. What do you need to have? How do you, or what certificate is accepted for your English language? My co-presenter, my partner in this whole situation, Na Mayete S online. Na, good afternoon. You're mute, I can't hear you.
She's muted.
You're muted. Can you please check your system for me, please? Okay, so maybe you may have to go off and come back. We will be looking at that. Now, Uncle Ben, before Na comes back on, let me throw this question in and ask. How now people are saying that with these challenges and people not complying with the various regulations, looking at the the hand rule, if I should say that, all the 5 things, I can put it as a hand rule. Having not satisfied all that, and people are having delays in their application for extra vacancies or certificates, this thing. Would there be a point where Home Office will be so fed up with us that they will cancel this whole thing?
Well, the Home Office can cancel any route.
The person on, please hold on for me. Just hold on, please.
I'm not going to sit here. I'm not one of those who are naysayers or doommongers. This is what I believe. I believe there's a need for what we're doing. Now, people think that this whole thing started 2 years ago. No. If you read the Presswick case, they've always had a license from 2009.
Right.
So what the worst case scenario is to take the care from shortage occupation. Listen, a cleaning company can apply for sponsorship license.
Right.
So anybody at all, we've got a sponsorship license to employ lawyers here. So any business at all in the UK can. So when people say they will take it away, some of them are saying it because of their experience. This is what I know. The overwhelming majority of the businesses that I know and have knowledge of are complying with the law. Yes, there might be one or two people who may have employment issues with them, but that's unemployment. There's no business that hasn't got some of these internal issues. But the businesses that I know are compliant. The overwhelming businesses in this area, not the new ones, not those who've recently come, but the overwhelming ones have been trading for a number of years, so they know their business. As we speak, there is a vacancy for 1.5 million people who need carers.
1.5 million.
5.5 million people who need carers.
And their needs may even be more than 1-to-1. It could be 4-to-1.
Yes, and the vacancy, the last time I checked, was about 270,000. Already, because of India and Nigeria, we brought in almost about 300,000 carers and their family members. Okay? But they keep, of course, people switch, people leave, and all the. I know a carer who's gone back to Ghana because she couldn't do the work. She said it was too difficult to do. But when people say they will cancel it, I say, what are they going to cancel? You can't cancel somebody's business. So if my business is care, you can't cancel my business. The worst case scenario is to say that it will not be a shortage occupation. The advantages of shortage occupation is that the application don't take long. Okay. If you take the care business, they don't pay IHS. Again, the going rate is low, whereas the people are talking about 38,000 for skilled workers. For shortage occupation, the going rate is about £10.75, which is about 20,900 a year if you're doing 37.5 hours. So Kwaku is not going to go away. But let me add this couple of points. If you want to succeed and make sure that you get a quick turnaround for your COS and DCOS, prepare. Make sure your rota is there, your pay slips are genuine, and there you've got evidence of work, contract, you've done a business case, your hierarchy is there, your reporting duties have been done, those who reported late, you've worked on all that. You've got all this. You see, when I think a few weeks ago, we said we can come and do MOT for your business. The MOT is to check that you're compliant. So check that every process of the way you have it. So when they say to you, bring this, you don't wait for Uncle Ben to put in a business case. But is there, Uncle Ben is already worked with you. You've got everything there because you will still request for an increase. And that's why this program is to show you why there's a delay and how you can prevent it.
Yeah. We go on to the line 0208-493-7345. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good afternoon. You're live with us on the program.
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Uncle Ben.
Good afternoon.
I'm William calling from Harlow.
Yes, William.
Yeah. My question is not precisely the topic discussion today, but I think since Uncle Ben is here, I would like to ask him my personal question because they helped me secure my stay about 5 years ago.
No worries at all. Go ahead with your question.
Yeah. I had my stay through EU settlement scheme, family route. And I would like to ask Uncle Ben, when do I qualify for indefinite? Is it the day my marriage was registered or the day my application was approved?
Yes, Uncle Ben.
Okay, I think he's talking about EU settlement, right?
Yes, please.
And the date you married, were you already in the UK?
Yes, please.
So it's the date you married. Your 5 years is from the date you married. EU settlement
Oh,
applications is totally different from immigration applications. So with the EU, it's not a grant; it's the time that you became a family member. So under our rules, once you've been married for 5 years, if you can show 5 years of residence from the date of marriage, whether or not you've been given limited leave, you can still apply for indefinite leave. Okay?
okay, Uncle Ben, thank you very much. I'll call and make an appointment at the office on Monday.
No
I think
problems.
I have to come over again.
No
Right.
worries. Thank you
Thank you.
very much for your time. 0208493735 or 0739920846. That's for text messages. For your WhatsApp and audio notes, 0795042278. Let's Okay, let me pick up this one and we wait and see if we can get Namayati back on. Hello, hello. Can you listen to us
Hello.
from the phone? Listen to us from the phone and ignore your computer or TV.
All right.
So if you can put the volume off on your TV, that would be very good.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Can you
go
hear
ahead.
me now?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you very much. I know my question is not about the topic for today.
No
We
worries.
just-
Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Kane. I've got a question about this EU settlement scheme, please.
Yeah, Lois here is listening.
Yeah, let's assume, okay, I figure my status pre-settle under EU partnership, marriage. But I think, I think the marriage broke down for like 2 years ago.
Mhm.
So we've got separated, but not yet divorced. So I don't know. I talk about return of residence or return of right.
Oh, so you are separated and you worried about your retention of rights under the EU settlement scheme, right?
Yeah, but I think the marriage, I think it lasted about more than 3 years now.
Yes. Yes, you were married for more than 3 years, but at the moment you are separated. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, please.
Well, under both EUS 4, EUS 11, it makes provision for retain right of residence. Now, we all know what retention of right is. It's basically that you've been married for at least 3 years, you've lived in the UK for at least 1 year. On the date that you instituted the divorce proceedings, the EA national was in the UK, and that for the period that you're relying on to show residence, the EA national was in the UK. It's no longer work, so it's no exercise of treaty rights presence. Once you've got that, then if you've been here for 5 years, you can get indefinite. If not, you will give you another pre-settled status, but you add that to the ones that you've already spent. If you get 5 years, then you can apply for indefinite leave. Okay?
Look, yeah, but I was thinking,
Yeah, go on. We're here. We're listening.
yeah, I was thinking maybe if I feel like, okay, now I need to go apply for return of rights so that I will be completely independent. So I don't know the kind of document I need to put forward, obviously I need to come see you.
Yes, if you want to, have you already done the divorce?
No, not yet.
Okay, a straightforward divorce will take you a minimum of 6 months. It can be more. Because by the time you
Okay.
issue and serve, already 6 months is gone. So that's how long it will take. Are you Nigerian?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. Are you Igbo or Yoruba?
No, I'm just from the Niger Delta.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
So, but I don't know because at the minute I can't say I don't have any documents related to her just to show like yes we've been together. That's no worries.
Well, it's not being together because when you look at the EU law, even separation counts as marriage. So even if you're not together, they're not looking at the genuineness of your relationship. They're looking at what, because marriages do break down. I mean, that's why you're divorcing her. So the separation itself doesn't affect you. But her presence is very important. So it's not document to show you're living together, but something to show that she's still in the UK. Okay?
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
You're welcome. 0208493734. Hello.
Oh, hi. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Frimpong, and good evening to Uncle Ben.
Good evening to you, my dear.
You guys are good. Well, before I ask my question, I just want to say kudos. You're doing a great job. And be viewer,
Thank you very much.
uh, I don't know where to start from, but God bless Uncle Ben and everybody that works there. So my question today is,
Mhm.
I know lady, and I sent her the link. Hopefully she's online so she will hear me. But okay, so she came in like
Your
months
line, your
ago
line
with
is a bit patchy. If you could
um,
just reposition yourself.
mhm. Okay, can you hear me now? Is it better?
Yes, it's better.
Okay, great. So a lady came into the country like 2 months ago with a skilled migrant workers care work.
Yes.
The only thing though, the only thing is she works sometimes. The company that brought her over, they're not doing what they said they would in the contract.
Okay.
Sometimes a week, she said they give her just 1 hour, and the other times when she's worked, like it's just 2 hours in a whole week.
Yeah.
What can she do in this case? Is she able to leave and look for another job with another care home? But because she's already signed a contract with this company, and they're saying if there's no work, there's nothing we can do.
So there's work, but there's not enough.
Yes,
I am assuming that they have not reported on the SMS.
I was listening to everything today, and I'm thinking, is this something that okay? If she decides I want to sue, can she sue the company that brought her in? That they're
Okay.
not doing
I
what they
think
said
that
they
was
would.
what I was driving at, and you brought the question out.
Okay.
They are obviously not doing what they have said they would do.
No.
Can this worker sue them?
Okay, so now I represent both businesses and employees. So there are employees that I represent against other businesses. There's a way that I deal with. I'm not going to show my strategy to everyone, but let me talk from the business side.
Mm.
If somebody brought you in
Mm-hmm.
and there's no work, I, the person who is a migrant, will be interested to know, am I breaching the immigration rules? What can I do to move on? Because I want to stay here. So you ask whether they have to stay or move. I would say they should move. They should find another work and move. Okay? I'm also conscious of the duties on yourself and also the business. So when you look at sponsorship migrant guidance for skilled worker and temporary worker guidance part 2, paragraph S 8.7 to 8.11 talks about supplementary work. So they can go and work outside for 20 hours, not more than that. But for them to be working outside, they should be working for the main employer.
Okay.
So if the main employer is not meeting the Home Office obligatory minimum hour guarantee, which is on the CUS, then you have to advise yourself whether you want to continue to work for this person. Somebody was about, Uncle Ben, it's easier said than done. What should I do?
Yeah.
I mean, I've come here, I've spent money on transport, flight. Maybe an agent brought me, so he's also charged me his agency fee. What can I do? Well, so I tell them, move, find something else. Last 2 weeks, I shared vacancies on the NHS, 1 slot. There were a minimum of 1,300 vacancies.
Oh, wow.
A minimum.
Yeah.
So I, for one, I go online to see what I can do to help our people who are struggling. My sister, they should go online and find another work and move to the new employer. Okay? Well, you ask whether they can sue them. Well, under employment law, if they haven't worked for 2 years, then even if they've sued, if I'm representing the business, you will go to ACAS. ACAS will call me. I'll tell ACAS, ACAS, you know the law. Why are you calling me? ACAS will then call you and tell you, you can't sue this business. If you want to sue them, we'll give you a certificate, go and sue them. But we can tell you what will happen. They will throw out your case.
Okay.
If you sue them for breach of contract because they haven't paid your wages, all you will get is a week's wages. That is the law. I'm not saying it. So you go and pay a lawyer, several thousands of pounds to go and
And
sue them.
you get wages
And
of
they're
less
going
than
to
a
give you
thousand.
250 pounds.
Yeah.
Your take home. What is the point?
Wow.
So I'm afraid, that is why I've said before you set foot here, if somebody say I'm an agent, I can recruit you. Ask questions. I've done a video, it's on YouTube, it's on Instagram and Facebook. We can't just throw our money away. My own niece, my cousin's daughter, was brought here. Okay? I wasn't aware. Two of them were brought here. One is a qualified nurse. She's a midwife. She's now working for the NHS. The other one was an administrator because she did a national service. And I found her employment in Ghana. She wanted to come here, and I'm sure she's watching. And she came. The person who brought her was also a close relative. She didn't get work. Thankfully, one of the businesses that I work for have employed her, and she's been working for them for the past 6 months. So it happens. It affects all of us. And that's why we have dedicated our time that will give you, it's not a screaming or shouting match. If I'm representing a business, a care business who brought you, and they said they haven't got work, and for that reason you're screaming and shouting, all I will do is I will use the law against you. And the law is not in your favor, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
The law is not in your favor.
Okay. 0208493745. Agwen, I think instead of on the video, I've got Na on the phone. Na, good evening.
Yes,
Hello?
can you hear me now?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Happy
I
New
can hear
Year.
you. Let's hear you.
Happy New Year, Uncle Ben.
Happy New Year, man. Yeah. Hey, Charlie, today, dear, the beauty is
I know
levels.
she's shining like something.
Hey,
Uncle Ben, the secret is today my husband is sitting right by my side.
I knew it.
In fact, I have a senior lawyer here, so I will not be in breach of anything.
Okay,
Declare your assets.
Thank you very much. And greetings to the listeners and the viewers. This is just a quick update. I know time is fast spent and that I'm going to be quick. It's about the ethics that we all know. The English proficiency is one of the evidence that you need to show if you want to prove your eligibility and the suitability as a carer to come to the UK. And for that matter, KT Ed Consult, we've been teaching a lot of students to write their IELTS, but those who already have a degree certificate, they are able to use their degree certificate, transcript, and letter of English proficiency from their university to apply through ETIS to get a different certificate that will enable them to apply for the care route. Now, the update that came about just last, taking effect from 2nd of January, is that before we've got so many Ghana universities that are affiliated to a major university. So let me give an example. Maybe I have a KN or University of Legon with small universities affiliated to them. So University of Legon will be the awarding university certificate, awarding certificate for these various universities. So if I go to maybe a school, maybe Otabe University, which is not a major university, but will get their certificate when you finish the course from Otabe University, you get your certificate from University of Legon. Now, what ETIS is saying that if you are going to apply for English proficiency with these affiliated universities, they will no longer accept this document. So before they will accept your degree as an English proficiency, your transcript, your letter of English proficiency should come from the major universities. I don't know if you understand me well. So,
We do,
um,
pa.
yes, you must you must get your transcript, especially from these major universities. That means you have to attend a recognized major university before you can use this certificate to apply for the English proficiency. So this is what came about just last Tuesday. And even if you have applied already and they've asked you for your documents to resubmit, this new rule applies to you as well. So all those certificates or all those applications that we did before Christmas, they have to come back to us to resubmit a new transcript, a new letter of proficiency. And this is a major issue for most of our universities that are coming from Ghana, not just Ghana, maybe other countries as well. So I just want to put this across for my viewers and listeners to be aware of. And then secondly, KT Ed Consult. Gracefully, we've got a license to teach OET officially. So all those nurses who came through the care work and they want to progress into the nursing, they are welcome to come and join the class. We teach them through the syllabus or the process that OET board and the NHS board itself has given for this occupational English test. We have the license now to operate that. So that's a good news for us. And yet, IELTS is still on board. If you want to write your IELTS to join, to come as a carer or for that matter, constructors as well, you can still join our class. We can teach you. You pass, good grade or good band to be able to apply for. So this is what I just want to, put across for my viewers and listeners to be aware of.
And thank you to Na Mayati, who is on honeymoon this afternoon. Congratulations to you. And thank you for that. You will catch Mayati live on Fridays between 9 and 11 in the morning when we have free legal education and sometimes too on the program, the community and the law. Now, thank you very much. Congratulations. And at this point, I'll go over, as tradition cannot be broken, to ask Uncle Ben to give us a brief summary of what we have discussed today before we draw the curtains down.
Yeah, so what we've discussed today is to help those businesses in the community. Because the work they do, obviously, is helping our community, those who want to travel to the UK and work, for them to come and work. Basically, if you want to get your COS and DCOS, you need to do your homework before you put in the request. Because once you put in the request, they will also make a request on you for documents and information. And obviously, they will only give you a very short time to provide the responses. Know your 5 duties and responsibilities. Make sure your record keeping duty is top, your reporting duty is top, your employment contract complies with the UK employment law. If you've got a template employment contract that you just downloaded from the internet, please give it to a lawyer to review for you. Make sure that you're also complying with the Home Office immigration rules, which is that you're doing your RTWs, right to work, and you've kept documents. Above all, make sure there's a genuine vacancy, because a genuine vacancy and a business case will support the contracts that they've asked for. Above all, we say that you've already run a successful business. Please continue to run your successful business. But as we always say, as community lawyers, we are always there to support you.
The community lawyers are always there to support you, and that's BWF Solicitor 0208 493 7340 or the emergency number 077 127 61884. How to avoid delays in obtaining certificate of sponsorship and defined certificate of sponsorship has been what we have discussed this afternoon. I know the lines are so blaring hot, but time and tide waits for no man and can never be exceptions to this general rule. We're drawing the curtains down. I want to say thank you to all of you who have contributed. Once again, happy birthday to you, Theophilos, for our content. I call you the Lord Chancellor. And to everybody at BWF Solicitors, from the senior partner, Uncle Ben, who's been our guest today, Lawyer Eunice, Lawyer Charles Asma, and all the other trainee lawyers, the front desk, and our colleagues in the Ghana office, we want to say thank you so very much for your support with research and everything. And also to Sheila Ankara and Padmo Dodu, who helped me in the production. My studio producer has been Professor Ade. My name is Oreko Sifrimpon. I want to invite you to join us again, same time next week on the same platform, the community and the law. Good evening.